Hello, everyone. This is Tom Fox back again for another episode of the Magnificent Seven Rides Again. Today, I'm absolutely thrilled to have with me one of the Magnificent Seven, Janelle Lindley. Janelle, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
So, Janelle, I'd like to
Mhm,
ask you some questions about your passion around art because I think it's fair to say you are passionate about your art and art in general. And
mm.
could you tell our listeners, how did you first get into art? Were you a 6-year-old girl? Were you in high school? How did it come about and how did it touch you?
I think it came even when I was younger than that. From the time I can remember, I was always drawing, always had these pads of paper that my parents had, and I would draw anything and everything. I think, and then it just went on my whole life. I've been teaching art to children 20 years in elementary school, and I teach classes at my house. I've had art camps at home and different things like that. One of the most important things with me was the way my parents were. They just were always complimenting me and always encouraging me. Oh, yeah, that's good. You go ahead. It really was. And I've seen some since then, but they were always encouraging me, saying, doing great. You keep it up. And boy, I had all the paint, the papers and everything. And so it just grew and it's still a passion. I love trying new things, painting and what I call paper painting.
Let's turn to your public school teaching.
Okay.
My parents were teachers. So I'm very passionate about teaching in public schools. And my recollection of art was that there was always one or two people that somehow got touched in those art classes, and whether it ignited a passion, whether it was like you, it just fed that passion that already existed, but there was always one or two. Tell us about your experience as a teacher with those types of students. Could you tell them right away?
There were some that were very obviously talented. They were very good. However, I feel like I wanted all of them to experience so many different aspects of art. And so I had a great school with a great principal that allowed me to do just about anything. And so every year I would come in the summer, paint the walls with a different theme every year. And then it just made it fun for the kids. But then we always had different projects, learning about other artists as well as some of the things. And I feel like I had a lot of them that were really good. They loved it because we had so much fun. And, but back to your question, yes, they did have, there were always a few that were just naturally good at what they did. But I felt like the whole class was excited.
Why is it important to teach art literally to classes in public schools, not just the one or two who may have had your passion, but why should everyone have an art class in public K through 12 school in Texas?
I feel like it's the best way in the world to acknowledge and to be able to express themselves. It's a new way, it's a new way of expression. And some of them don't get that at home. But if they know different things they can do, they don't have to be the best person at this or that. But I always wanted them to just explore the different things, the paint, the everything, and the clay. We did everything, and I think it gave them kind of a sense of what's the word? Just a sense of feeling good about themselves and feeling proud what they were doing.
So tell us about your students today. I assume they're adults. Maybe that's an incorrect assumption. But what do you see in your students today? And do they have that inner passion that you have?
It's a different area than where I was. We don't live there, but I have heard from several of them, several that have gotten married even. So, yes, they are grown, and they talk about how much fun they have and how much they learned, and I've heard that from parents, but what they're actually doing now with art, I don't know that I can tell you.
What
Uh,
about the classes you teach now? What type of students do you have now? Is it adults?
Actually, it's adults right now, but, oh, I'd say probably 10 years ago is when I was doing a lot of the kids' camp in the summer and teaching classes at my house, and that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
So let's talk about the Magnificent Seven.
Okay.
And this year's show is appropriately called The Magnificent Seven Rides Again. But tell us how the Magnificent
Mm,
Seven came together
mm,
originally, and then tell us about this year's second show?
Listen, I'm trying to think how I heard about it. We had just moved here. I've just been here a few years and I heard about it. And I think it would be Nancy that kind of got it all together and told us about it. And of course, I've always done art shows all over the place. So I'm all excited about it. But it's a great group. We have a lot of fun together. We learn from each other. We share things. And so we were excited to do it again this year. And we've already registered for next year's.
So can you tell us, first of all, when is the show, The Magnificent Seven Rides Again, and where will it be?
Okay, it'll be at the Kerrville Art Cultural Center, downtown Kerrville, and it will start on September 12th and go to October 12th.
And could you maybe give us a hint of what you will be showing or presenting at Magnificent Seven Rides Again?
Okay. I have 2 different styles of painting. I paint both of them, but one is acrylic painting, landscape. I'm rather obsessed with trees, so there are always trees, it seems, in my paintings. But I also do a process called paper painting that I learned about 12 years ago, where you paint papers and you tear them and glue them, and there's all kinds of words and music and maps and everything in it, which I think makes it very interesting and it adds texture. I'm madly working on one of those right now, trying to finish it.
We have lived here, my wife and I have lived in the Hill Country for 3 years, and this is the wettest year in the Hill Country since we've been here. I came from Houston, so I was used to wet. But this summer, I have seen more shades of green in our part of the Hill Country than I certainly
Mhm.
saw in the first 2, and even as we're recording this in August, do all of those trees have multiple shades of green, and is this summer different from a artist's eye than perhaps last summer when we were in the middle of a drought was?
You know what? I am obsessed with color. So I don't always go with what color those leaves are. I will add all kinds of shades of green and yellow and orange and purple. And so I have an obsession for color.
One of the things that I think is important about the show is to see and to communicate with that 8-year-old girl or boy who may be seeing fine art
Mhm.
literally for the first time up close, and to see the wide-eyed looks of what you and the other 6 in the Magnificent 7 have created. What do you wanna say to that 8-year-old girl or boy who you can tell their eyes are just wider than anyone else's?
That does happen. And that's one reason I really love the paper painting because that's what draws that gets more attention from everybody. But the kids will come up and I'm like, touch it, feel it. What do you think? And I get them to talking about it. I said, you can do this. You can do this. I said, go home, draw something, and then maybe paint some papers of music and maps and things and tear it, put it in, and it's a lot of fun. So I try to encourage all the kids and the adults to try it because they're all very interested.
What do you hope to get out of the show, The Magnificent Seven Rides Again?
Hmm. It'd be easy to say money, but I enjoy meeting all the people that come through. I enjoy trying to keep up with them. And we have a drawing at the end with everybody that has signed up and pick one. And I enjoy just talking with the people and seeing what they feel about different ones. And it's always interesting to hear which ones they like best and are they interested in a class? And
Uh, we've had the opportunity to visit a couple of times for the Texas Hill Country Artists podcast. And I want to ask you, and in that podcast, we celebrate local Hill Country artists. Why is it so important to celebrate local artists? Why is it so important to promote local artists? And why is it so important that you all have a community that you can draw on each other from?
I feel like it's that way anywhere. Where I'm going to be, I would like for there to be lots of artists all getting together and helping other people. I feel like it's a great way to explain to other people it's not too late to learn how to do this. Encourage them to get involved if that's something they're interested in.
Janelle, if anyone wanted to find out more about you or your art, what might be the best place for them to go?
My website, Janelle Lindley.
Well, Janelle, I wanted to thank you again for taking the time to visit with me today. I can't wait for the Magnificent Seven rides again.
We're ready.